Welcome back to another episode of our humble podcast.
Season 2.
Season 2 is number 1 of season 2. Super excited to be back in the studio. It's been a long break, long summer. Busy summer. I'm your host, GT. I'm here with my amazing co-host, Christina. How are you doing?
I am actually doing great.
Yeah? Nice. How are you feeling today?
I don't know. Like I was telling you, I think it took me a whole season to just be able to come here and be here.
Yeah.
You know?
And be good here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like not nervous and shaky.
I know you missed it. You missed the camera and the lights in your face.
No.
Nice. Well, I definitely missed it. I'm glad that we're back. We got a whole new series of stories to tell. Super excited about our guest today, Dominique Barlow. Is that what we're going with, Dominique?
Yes.
All right. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. I'm excited being here. Thank you all for inviting me. This is my first podcast, so I'm really excited to share what I got today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited about hearing your story. One of the things that is super important to this podcast is just talking about the stories of really people that we've been working with. But Christina did a good job of putting it into words a couple of days ago, just kind of asking her, why should people watch the podcast? It's because we're telling stories of people doing good in a community, and you and your husband, you guys do a lot of good. If you guys couldn't tell from the name, this is T's wife, Mrs. Barlow, and you guys keep busy.
Oh, yeah.
Got a busy household,
Oh, yeah.
and you do a lot of good work for the community.
Thanks. Yep.
Yeah,
Try my best to.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So one thing that I don't always do the best job of, but I want to try to make sure that we hit on like who are. Oh no, wait, icebreaker.
You did forget the icebreaker.
I did. Dang it. Since it's getting cold, we'd say like, what's your? I don't want to say bucket list, but like, what's a like must travel to spot that you'd love to go for vacation? That you haven't been yet.
Oh, I was about to say Vegas. That's one of my favorite spots right now.
Nice.
That's a good question, GT. Let's see. Bucket list. I want to say next on my list is Dubai.
Dubai.
I really want to go there.
Yeah.
That's one of the places I want to go. It's something different. Get out of the United States. I'm like, I've been here all my life and I want to try something different. I've heard about Dubai. I've heard great things about Dubai. And I think that's one of the places I want to go one day.
Yeah.
Once I get the money saved up, that's on my bucket list to go is Dubai. Yeah.
I'd love to get out of the country too. Never
Yes.
been other than a cruise to Bahamas. I don't know if that really counts because it's a cruise.
Yeah.
But I hear really good stuff about Dubai. The pictures I see, it looks super cool.
Yeah. Exotic. Yeah.
Right.
Very nice.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Make sure you take us with you when you
Sure,
go.
that would be nice. Yeah. Do a group travel.
So getting to know you, Dominique,
Yes.
I know that you're a mother, you're a wife, first lady of a church. What would you say is, I don't know if you can even say like a favorite of all the different hats that you wear. Is that like a fair question to ask?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's like asking like, who's your favorite kid?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like all of it's important,
Right.
right? Well, let's just go back to, have you always lived in Omaha?
No, I have not. Actually, I moved here way back in 2015. Actually, I think it was Valentine's Day, February 15th, yeah, 2015 or 14. I'm sorry, excuse me. But I've been in Omaha since 2015. I'm coming all the way from Virginia, Northern Virginia, Washington D.C. area. So that's like about, well, Alexandria, Virginia is like a small city outside of D.C. So it's like 10, 15 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. So I'm coming all the way from there to marry my husband, T. Barlow. I know I got to tell y'all the story behind that later.
Yeah,
but
let's hear it.
yeah, so Me and Terrence, of course, we met online through Facebook. A lot of people ask, like, "Oh my gosh, how did you guys meet?" And I tell them, we met through Facebook. We knew each other since like 2009, 2010, and then we were invited to do a ministry on there, Be Not Deceived. And we kind of got closer on that ministry. He started talking to me because I'm like, I'm not trying to meet nobody online. And then
Right.
he started talking, and the rest is history. At the time, he was living in Omaha. I'm all the way out in Virginia. So we're like courting, doing virtual meets, phone conference things between each other for 6 months. He said we're not going to do anything in between until we meet and get married. So we got married in November 2014. Went down to the court. The day I came up here, we got married.
Awesome.
I know, everybody's like, dang, girl.
Right.
Come all the way
Welcome to
Virginia.
Omaha. Let's go to the
Right.
courthouse.
We went
Right.
straight to the courthouse, and the rest is history. And I love this being up here. It's very family oriented up here. It was different because I've been in Virginia like all my life since I was like 7 or 8 years old. Originally born in Fort Polk, Louisiana. My dad was stationed down in the military.
Okay.
I'm a military kid, right?
So how
if
you got up
wanna
to
call it.
Virginia military?
Yeah, we were in Newport News for a couple of years, and then me and my mom moved out to Alexandria, Virginia once my parents had divorced. So, been out there a good 20-something years all my life. I said, I got to try something different. Came up here, fell in love with Omaha. So, I like being up here.
Omaha's pretty nice. It's easy to love.
Yes, chill, laid back. I like the people here, the atmosphere, very friendly people up here. I fell in
Definitely.
love.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's the traffic like back in Virginia?
Oh, the traffic is really, really busy, especially going out towards DC and Maryland. Oh my gosh, oof, it was just crazy, crazy, crazy. And up here, it has its traffic too, but DC really mainly, the DC Maryland part, oh my gosh, the traffic was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't miss it. Don't
I'm
miss it at
sure.
all. Yeah.
That's one thing that I can say I appreciate about Omaha too. Like when we went to Chicago,
Yeah.
some of the people that have always lived in Nebraska kind of really saw like, oh, like we got it good in Nebraska.
Who's that?
I'm talking about you.
I would rather drive in Chicago any day than LA ever
Oh,
again.
definitely.
Ever again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Traffic's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 2 hours to go like 12 miles in LA. It's just,
Goodness, wow.
I mean, we were stuck
and
in
then
traffic
gas
for
is like $8 a gallon. So you literally just work to put gas in your car, to sit. Love you, LA.
just don't want to live there.
Done with LA. Wow.
I love that story though of you and T, like the first time you guys met in person, you were getting married. That's crazy, and we don't
Yeah.
hear about that very often.
You know, and a lot of people just at the time like, girl, you crazy. Like, what? And I already knew, the thing is, I already knew T already years before that. Me and him been
Right.
talking like on Facebook. We were just like regular brothers and sisters in Christ just talking. And then when we got in that ministry, that's what it really drew us and put us together.
Gotcha.
He started talking. We got on Instagram. He started talking to me on Instagram, DMing me on Instagram.
In
And the rest,
DMs.
all up in the DMs, right? And then the rest is history. And I just thank God for it. It's been a wonderful experience just being married to him and just being up here in Omaha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's huge.
yeah.
It's been a year now that he's been pastor.
No, it's been April of this year, so just only a few months. He was, I want to say he was kind of training for it, kind
Yeah.
of, but then now he's transitioned into that role as of April of this year.
Oh, yeah, he was doing the interim thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny because we always called him the pastor in Humble
Yeah.
Kings because
Yeah.
I mean I love that he's so versed and studied in the Word, and like I mean if there's something about the Bible that I want to know, like he's the person I'm going to talk to about it.
Oh yeah.
I think it's really cool that you guys connected on the ministry. Like that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah. It's just amazing how God just brought us together that way. It's very unique. It's different because a lot of people are like, girl, what? You met online?
Yeah,
And then they hear my testimony and hear how long we've been married. They're like, wow, God is good.
it's huge.
So it's like a testimony. Our marriage is like a testimony in itself. So,
Right.
yeah.
So your faith walk, like I always like hearing stories of how people come into their conversion. Was that something that you were always in church, or what was that like for you?
Oh, well, like you just mentioned, I grew up in church, got baptized when I want to say about 6 or 7 years old. I lived with my mom at the time because my mom and my dad, as I told you, they separated. So I was in a grew up in a Christian household. My mom dragged me to church all the time.
Yeah.
She took me to Bible studies a lot. I just grew up in that Christian experience with my mom. She was a single mom at the time, and I thank God for her because I don't know, just without my mom, I don't know where I'd be in God. I just thank God for her because she would minister to me. She would, put scriptures out there to me and kind of like test me on some things. And I'm like, oh, Mom, I don't know this stuff. And she said, well, let me tell you, let me teach you. Let me go here in the scriptures and show you where this is. That's where I get where most of my ministry from now. Y'all see on Facebook from my mom. She's an evangelist, so I get all that from my mom. And I just thank God for the experience.
That's huge.
Yeah.
You said your ministries, we know it, but if you don't mind telling the audience what's your social media ministry? What's your ministry in
what
general?
we do? What I do. Yeah. So I've been on Facebook since like 2009. Didn't know what to do with my Facebook page. And I'm talking to my friend. She was like one of my first friends on my friends list. Like, girl, what do I do on this Facebook page? Like a couple months later, I went into ministry on there. I started talking about God, the Bible, taking people through the Bible scriptures. I started talking to people, praying for people on there. And just from 2009, I've just been going nonstop on Facebook. And then a few years later, here comes Season of Marriages.
Yeah.
I want to say around 2016, I started that ministry because a lot of people ask me the story of me and Terrence and how I had waited before getting married. I want to say I waited probably 14 years before. Long time.
You guys have known each other for 14 years before you got married?
No, just me waiting to get married.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it was a long time. And like within that time frame, I was like just reading the scriptures, just ministering to people, going to church. People like, what were you doing in between that time? Like 14 years, that's a long time to be waiting on marriage. I said, well, God put it in my heart to do this, to go forth in this, to just be a ministering tool.
Yeah.
Basically at the time. So Season of Marriage came out. If you want to look, Season of Marriage is on Facebook and it's also on Instagram at Season of Marriage Season _ marriage. Is at Season _ I can't get it out, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all know. Okay, let me say it again. I'm gonna say it slowly. It's at Season _ marriages on Instagram. So there's a lot of followers on there, and I just basically minister to Christian singles about getting married or how to get married the right way. Yeah.
You're on TikTok too, right?
Yes, and I'm also on TikTok. It's the same on TikTok. The at Season _ marriages. So it's been a journey. I love ministering to people. I have all different kinds of people that come up to me, the saved and unsaved that come to me. I don't just always float on the Christian side. So God has me going in between. I'm like all over, just talking to people about church, how to be saved, reading the Bible, going to church, finding the right church. I'm all over the place when it comes to ministry. But my main thing is the Season of Marriages that God's been placing in my heart to do. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I think the statistic was 50% of marriages don't last.
Yeah, that's a very high statistic, and it's very sad because a lot of people do get married and don't know like how to really like stay together. And a lot of churches I wouldn't say a lot of churches are missing out on it, but they don't kind of like dwell on that area or that subject in the church. And that's where Season of Marriages comes from, and get Christian singles to get together and prepare for marriage the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was just kind of thinking, I had a question. I feel like, and I just want your perspective on it, that the goal is to get married, right, for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of times the churches pressure people to make that decision. And a lot of times people aren't ready to make that commitment, and then the marriages don't work out. Yeah. What advice would you give to people who are dating and, considering getting married?
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that's a good question. I always tell people, because I do have people that are courting or trying to do the dating, the boyfriend and girlfriend, which is okay. I, minister to them anyway. But I always tell them, like, to always keep God first and always pray about your decision to marry, because some people don't pray. And that's one of the key things, like when I was doing before I got married to Terrence, was praying a lot, praying on how to be a wife on how to prepare and have my spirit and my heart and mind prepared to be married. That's what I tell those that ask me that question, things like that. Prayer is key.
Yeah.
You know, prayer, God will reveal who that person you're trying to marry to you. Like if it's for you, it's going to be for you. If it's not going to be for you, then you will know once you pray and God reveals it in your spirit. So I try to put that out there to people. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that keeping God in the center of the marriage is really important too. I think it was T. We were talking about how he just threw it out there like, if I was to die tomorrow, like I would die knowing that I was fulfilled in the things I wanted to accomplish in this life. Yeah. My question was, if that's the case, you feel fulfilled, like what keeps you inspired to continue going? And it's the stewardship. After you have that marriage, after you have the family, you want to be a good steward of that. So make the commitment and actually follow through on the commitment and take the steps that are necessary to make sure that it's successful, that you're pouring into your partner and, all that good stuff.
Yeah, everything falls into place. Yep.
I love it.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Nice. So, Mom.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I'm so happy for you guys. I know that, and I'm sorry if I'm overstepping, but I know that you guys have dealt with some infertility for a while. And Yaya is such a blessing.
She is. She's so cute.
She is. She's so sweet. I was talking to T the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, that sweet little Yukara. It's like she's starting to get an attitude, get a little sassy now. Like, yeah, she's 2. It's coming."
Terrible 2 stage, yeah.
I feel like it's been there all along. She just talks more now.
Yeah,
like she's always, whenever T says like, "Oh, don't have a bed to myself," you're like, yeah. She's always just older siblings, and like she still just has always held her own. Like, her sassy is
she's got it there.
For sure. So, what's it like? T has children from previous relationship. You guys have like a really like ultra blended family.
Yes. Right. Yes. Right.
Previous marriage, you guys adopted, and then you have your child together. Can you talk about, like, I feel like there's different dynamics in all those relationships. Like, how do you find the balance? I'm not going to say balance,
harmony.
Harmony in
those situations.
So it was different at first because me being a first-time mom to stepchildren, I don't consider them as children. They're my children. I'm just going to go ahead and say children. I accepted them in my life before I got married because Terrence told me about them. I said, these are my kids. I'm already claiming them already.
Yeah.
So I just had to grow into the mom role getting married because this was my first time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was kind of nervous. Curve. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. But as years gone by, I've learned a lot of things. God has taught me a lot of things on how to be a mom. We are a blended family. It took some learning because they're from a previous marriage, which is okay. But I've grown to love them and to accept them as mine.
Nice.
And then, of course, we had the twins we adopted. And we adopted, there's a reason why I had took them in, or me and Terrence had took them in, because at the time, like you was saying before, I had some infertility issues, and I honestly thought that I wasn't going to be able to get pregnant again. I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, I don't think I'm going to be able to have kids again. And it really, I was like in a depressed, dark state then. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, Lord, I got married to this man and I can't get pregnant. But we went ahead and the opportunity presented itself. There was a lady in our church that thought that we would be good fitting parents for the twins, and we went in and just took them in. I said, Lord, if it's your will, if you have me like this where I can't have any more kids, I'm going to go ahead and accept these kids and take them in.
Thanks.
So we took them in, and then years later of trying, we had Yakaris, which she is my rainbow baby. She's considered a rainbow baby because after all the other ones I've had going through a storm, after a storm, there's always a rainbow. God provides.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just thank God I didn't think I was going to be able to get pregnant again. And sure enough, God had just blessed me to have her. And she has been a joy in our household. All the kids, everyone loves Yaya.
Everybody loves Yaya.
Yaya. Right? Everyone loves Yaya. She has brought a lot of joy to us. Because I had, as you said, I had a lot of that dark time in my life where I'm like, oh my gosh, Lord, I don't think I'm gonna be able to have any more kids. And then Terrence had a song, had a song that he dedicated to Genesis, the one that we lost at 5 months.
Yeah.
That really ministered to me.
Wow.
It brought me out of a dark state, a dark time in my life where I thought, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to have more kids, Lord. Had that song, and then that ministered to me. I had listened to it and played it a lot. And it ministered to me. I told him what it did. It ministered to me. And I thank God for him placing that song on his heart to give to me.
What was it about the song that like really resonated with you?
It's just, I don't know, just writing that song really
just
spoke
acknowledging
to me.
it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because at the time, I'm like, when the incident happened, I'm like, I'm holding a child that passed away in my arms. Then for him to have that song, it just really just comforted my spirit. So I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, Lord, for my husband in that song, and the future that he had. The guy, sorry, I can't recall the name right now, but I just thank God for that, and I thank God for my family. And I had to grow into this motherhood, and I love having a blended family. It just helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful song. We in the church that we were helping plant, we made like a pre-service playlist, and that song was actually on there.
Oh,
I said like,
okay.
leave it to T to make a song about, a stillborn baby that is still so like life-giving.
Yes.
Like it's such a good song.
It is.
And I think like just hearing about your experience, it reminds me of something me and Christina have been talking about. She wants to get into photography, and I just wonder if you had pictures of that day that you had your baby, like how would that? She wants to take pictures. What do you call it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not just that.
Okay.
I was just
Stillborn pictures. Obviously, other pictures, but like that was. I mean, that's the topic we're talking
there's
about.
photography like that they do that where they meet the parents at the hospital and like take picture, like they're just like a fly on the wall situation, so like people still get to have like their authentic moment, but just so that you have that memory like captured. So
Well, that sounds nice because it helps. So that will help a lot of moms out here.
Yeah,
to
with, like,
heal and
healing.
grieve.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's nice, Christina. Now let me know more about that. I like that already.
When I hear it, I think that's kind of morbid, but I also don't know how like having those pictures would affect the family. Like that would probably be like, you lose a family member, you want to have pictures to remember them, right?
Yeah.
So I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, because it does help with the healing process for moms that lose babies, kids over time. So it does help. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't expect this episode to be so heavy.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, I see you're rocking the
Oh,
Roaring
yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
Y'all check that out. Can we get a close up on this right here? That Roaring Summer Good Vibes shirts. We're going to discontinue them, at least for this summer.
you're like, look at this shirt, we're discontinuing.
Yeah, you create some urgency behind it. They're only available for a limited time. So the summer's over.
Okay.
We just printed our second batch of them, and once those are gone, we're done until maybe we'll bring them back next summer.
Okay, yeah.
But don't wait.
Yes.
It is a good time to plug it. If you guys are not yet, please follow Our Humble Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Also YouTube. We're trying to get that YouTube over 100 subscribers. When we do that, we can have like a custom back tag. So that's important for like marketing purposes or whatever. But also follow Dominique. How would you like people to reach out to you if they wanted to maybe book you for another podcast or?
Oh, okay, yeah. So you can reach out to me on Facebook, Dominique Barlow. You'll see my photo or my picture on there.
How do you spell Dominique?
Yeah, so it's Dominique, and then Barlow, Barlow, not
No E.
with the E. Yeah, without the E. Yep. I'm glad you told me to do that. But you can reach out to me on Facebook. You can inbox me on there, and I'll be able to reach out and reply back.
I've learned the hard way that it's nice to spell things out for people because like we spell Good Vibes with the Z.
Yes.
Humble Kings with the Z. So we were at Good Vibes a couple of weeks ago and someone sent me a email. They were emailing their songs to me, but they put Good Vibes with the S, so I never got it. I'm like, did you put the Z in it? It's on the screens, but
Yeah.
it's helpful to spell that stuff out for people.
Yeah. Because there's
Nice.
different spellings, across the board. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, we're getting about to that point. We're going to wrap up the first part of this episode. Before we go, do you have anything, at least from the first part of this conversation, that you want to leave the listeners with?
Let's see. Well, so far this conversation has been very good, very helpful. I'm just trying to get myself from behind the social media page, Facebook, and come out and just kind of just be here. The podcast so far, this has been a wonderful experience. I'm just looking to just grow with you all. Thank you. Y'all don't know how this has made my day.
That's awesome.
Just to be here.
Yeah.
So I don't have much right now, but I just want to just continue to grow, just be out here in the social media platform and get out here into the podcast world now.
I think the work that you're doing with Season of Marriages is very important. And I hope that platform continues to grow for you.
Oh, yeah.
Again, marriage is important. It's important to God. It's important to people. It's important for mankind. And to keep God at the center of that and to give people like hope and resources to help them stay together. I think that's really, really huge. I would love to see a Season of Marriages podcast in the future.
Oh, okay. I've been working on it. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be great because a lot of people ask me about starting one. So
Nice.
it's probably going to come in the future, near future. I'm working
Near future.
on it.
I know we talked yesterday about podcasting in the future for you. This is kind of sidebar conversation, but we should set up a meeting. I have some stuff that we're working on for future podcast stuff.
Okay. All
So,
right. Sounds great. Thank
Nice.
you. Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. This has been an awesome first part of part 1, episode, excuse me, part 1, episode 1, season 2. So this is like episode 11 and a half.
No. No.
Whoops.
We're not doing it.
Complicated things.
The math's not mathing.
It's not mathing.
All right, cut it.
But again, thank you for tuning in our humble podcast. We'll be back for those watching on TV. It'll be next week. For those looking at the archive, you'll have like just a little blurb, maybe a commercial in there, and we'll be right back with part 2 of this interview. See you guys.
All right.
Welcome back to another episode of our humble podcast. I'm your host, GT, with my co-host, Christina. How's it going?
It's going really well,
Nice.
in case I haven't said that today.
I think you said it twice already.
It's going that well,
Is
actually.
that well? It's
Super
like
well.
3 times as well.
Swell.
Super well.
Yeah, swell.
It is Monday. Yeah.
Well, not really.
I mean,
To us, today.
the listeners will see this at multiple points of time. If you guys didn't know, this actually airs Sunday and Wednesday on television, channel 22, which is KPAO. It's a local
Locally.
station here in Omaha, but you can also find us online. KPAO has a website where they broadcast their shows. And then we also upload each episode to YouTube, Rumble, and basically all the podcast forms. It's coming up. I'm sorry.
Where you watch your favorite podcasts, we're there.
Listen to. I guess you can watch podcasts now. Anyway, anywhere that you catch your favorite podcast, you should be able to find us. If you don't, let me know, and I'll work on getting us up there. Which, by the way, if you're not yet, follow us online, Our Humble Podcast, on Facebook and Instagram. We'd love to hear from you guys, especially if you're watching on TV. That's one demographic that we really don't get to hear from or get to see. I'm all about numbers. I'm an analytical guy, so I like to see like which episodes are doing well and who do people like the most and all that good stuff.
Okay, then.
I like the numbers, and we don't get to see the TV numbers, so it'd be nice to have some people chiming in with us on social media who get to watch us on TV. Yeah. Obviously, people see it because they're texting us about seeing it and whatnot. And I think you said you had somebody that you went to school with that had seen one of the episodes. Is that right?
It was someone I worked with.
Worked with. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Details. Anyway.
That's why I'm perfecting my autograph. Duh.
Nice. There you go. One day that'll be worth a lot of money.
It is now.
Oh. Well,
All right.
okay. Can I get one of those?
If you pay for it.
Oh, okay. I want to get it so I can have other people pay for it.
No.
Jeez. All right.
So with us today, we have Dominique Barlow, wife, daughter, mother, podcast operator in the near future, all the things.
First lady.
Oh yeah, first lady. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, wearing a lot of hats.
Tired for you.
Oh yeah. Wearing a lot of hats.
So in the first episode, we talked about season of marriage, and we talked a little bit about how you met Terrence. It's so weird, like when someone has like two names that they go by, like who you meet, you have to like remember to who.
Distinguish
What do you call them?
between the two.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Like,
I think we're going to hear about him being called Terrence on the show.
I didn't.
I'm just saying.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, he's gonna say something.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
Who put my
T-
government name
T-Ball.
out there?
Right.
It's not me.
Oh, speaking of Josh at the Good Vibes last week, that was hilarious. He called me out by name on stage, so I called him out back. Like, he wants people to call him JC. Don't call me George.
Oh, who?
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because
You
you
get
go
it,
by a
you
certain
get.
name, you want to be called that.
Yeah.
Everybody's calling you that. Yeah, I
I
understand.
think you just get to. That's not his name for us.
Josh?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, you're
T.
talking about
Yeah.
T.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's layers to who gets to use that name,
Right.
and it's the government and his wife. The end.
Nobody
I
at
said
church
T.
calls him Terrence?
No.
Just kidding.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
So, being first lady at church, I think it's cool that you guys like connected in ministry. What is that like?
Oh, you mean like just being like first lady, or just being in the whole church experience, pastor, first lady,
Yeah.
the whole experience? Wow, it is different, and it took a while for us to kind of transition into this. Or we're still in the process of transitioning into, well, actually into officially being a pastor and me being a first lady. It is different. I'm learning from my mother-in-law. I call her Mother Barlow, Mom Barlow.
Nice.
She's passing down like the torch down to me. I've learned a lot from her, and I'm still learning. So there's a lot to learn, especially when you're dealing with church matters and things like that. It's a lot to learn. I love being in the ministry, so it's something that I just enjoy doing, especially with my husband. So it's really nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. We both have the same focus, the vision. He's wanting to regrow, or he has a word that he says. I can't think of the word right now, but he wants to. He's not church planting, but it's something else. He's doing like a revitalization of a church plant. So the church is going from the old way of it, and he's trying to revitalize it, bring it back, in which we're working on that now. So I enjoy being in the ministry because this is something I've always been doing anyway. And to have my husband too, and we're working together, this is something that I love to do. It does take a lot of dedication, time, and work. But through God, through prayer, we got it.
What kind of like role responsibilities do you have as a first lady?
Well, basically, Terrence, he does most of the main parts, the pastoring and all that. But I'm taking care of like the administrative part of things, like creating like church flyers, updating like minutes and meetings and things like that. So I'm kind of secretarial role under the first lady, making sure that everything is up to date, in order. I was working on the bulletins for a little while, then it flipped to Facebook. I'm doing a little bit of everything as first lady. So it feels really good to be in this role.
What was it that Chong said when we met with her as operations manager or something like that?
Operations manager, operations director.
Yeah,
Okay.
like when we used to do the Urban Voice, which is actually how I met T.
Okay.
Christina was a secretary, and she was bringing that out. Like, I've been secretary and I'm still kind of doing that. And Chong was like, "Well, you're running the operations. Like, this cannot run without someone looking out for the operations. It's a really important role.
Yes.
You think about the things that T doesn't even have in his mind to think about.
Right.
And without you doing that, like, there's a big void. So, yeah, you're more than a secretary.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it takes more than that. Just that specific role. It's a lot of things up under First Lady. She wears a lot of hats. I've learned that from my mom, my mother Barlow, I call her. She's a strong lady, very timely. She just was there with my father-in-law, just them serving in the community, just outside the walls, the four walls of the church.
That's huge.
Right. I looked at that over the years. I'm like, wow, okay, this is what I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have to fill these shoes one day, and now that day is here.
Yeah.
And oh yes, it's a lot to fill. But like I said before, I know God got me and Terrence, and we're gonna continue to go forth in what we got to do for the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I love that you brought that up. What we do a lot of times really brings the church outside of the four walls. But I feel like there's a couple things. One is that a lot of people don't recognize that the church is more than just a building,
Yeah.
right? We are the church.
Yep.
And wherever we go, God goes with us. I mean, he's everywhere anyway.
Yeah.
But the church goes with us because we're part of that. And, we're whatever part that we represent, we're taking that to people. And being able to serve people outside of four walls of the church, I think is really huge, really important for a lot of different reasons. The other thing I was just kind of curious about, I saw it in T's inauguration. I don't know if that's the right term, when he came into the pastorship,
Okay.
that there were other ministry leaders, other church leaders that were there supporting you
Oh
guys.
yeah.
The body has many parts.
It does. Yeah.
A lot of times it seems like there's this divide between churches, but I see, and I'm starting to see it more often now, that churches are working together to bring about the mission of, discipling and evangelizing and that sort of stuff. What does that relationship look like as First Lady, or just you in general, of relationships with other churches?
Oh, and to me, it feels good because that's what we're supposed to be like anyway. We're supposed to be unified in Christ anyway. That's what the
Right.
Bible speaks on, of us being unified. And I love seeing that. I love working with other churches, other pastors, first ladies. I'm part of the minister wives out here too. It's a group that of first ladies that are married to pastors. So we come together and we unify. Yeah, we might be under different titles or different church names, but when we come together and get together, it feels really good. The fellowship I love. That's something that we all strive to do as Christians anyway, is the fellowship. And that's what I love about it. Just collaborating with other churches when we have events, outreaches and community events. I love how we all work together and pitch in and show what Christ is all about. He's about unity. He's about love. And that's what I really love about when we all come together as one.
It's huge.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say the Big C church. Instead of like my church, it's the Big C church.
Yes,
Big C
right,
church, serving
right.
community.
Yeah.
Dang, I had something. I just fell out of my
Oops.
brain. Sorry.
I don't know.
thought you were gonna say something.
No, I was just seeing where you're going with it.
Okay, switching gears. There's a couple more things I think we need to hit on. One, I haven't heard it explicitly from you, but in a conversation with T before, he was telling me that like you really have a strong desire to be an influencer on social media.
I do.
What is that like? What does that look like for you, and what kind of challenges do you see with that?
So I've been on social media for years. I have ran a ministry page, Be Not Deceived, some years ago. I didn't know what my title or role was then, like a content creator or content manager. I was like researching this, and wow, I can just manage these pages, and I just didn't see it then. And then years later, just all this content creator stuff started coming about. I'm like, that sounds like something that I do.
Yeah.
I take videos and put things online and caption it and put hashtags to it. And that's something that I'm working on. Even though I'm a mom, a busy mom, I kind of just want to just do that like as a side thing. Something that I enjoy to do is creating content, putting things out there on social media for people to read, to just engage. And that's what I really want to do. And I said, this sounds like me, because I've tried different things over the years. I'm like, this sounds like my niche. This sounds like me. I want to create content to engage people. So that's what I've been working on the last, well, a couple of months, or actually a couple of years now. And it's kind of really, really, the passion is really starting to burn and come out. Like, okay, I want to be a content creator.
Yeah.
I want to be on YouTube.
The cool thing about content creation is there's lots of different forms that it can take.
Yeah.
And really the point of it is you're creating some kind of video, photo, content that people can engage with, like you said.
Yeah.
But I think, at least for me, the challenge is like really figuring out what your niche is and having the commitment, the dedication, and the patience to like commit and stick to that. Because you know you can create content about being a mom and meal planning and all the other stuff, but is that something that you're really passionate about creating content about? And if it is, are you content enough doing that if you don't get 1,000 followers day one? And just being committed to, sticking it out to grow your catalog of content or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Until you can grow your following. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that is something that I am working on. It's like I run a few social media platforms and pages because I've been kind of dibbling, dabbling. Season of Marriage has really grown on the Instagram platform and on TikTok. 6,000 on Instagram and like 5,000 on TikTok. I'm like, okay, got to keep at it. Like you said, you got to be consistent with it. And that's what I'm working on now, kind of trying to balance the consistency out, and I just want to grow these platforms where it just reaches really high, but it takes time. So that's what I'm working on now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does take time.
Yeah.
It's also helpful to have a team, but that also takes money, which if you're not making money, it's hard to commit the money to it.
Yeah.
It's like this big vicious cycle. Yeah. And we're trying to figure that out for ourselves too. And it's helpful to have a team, like I said. Christina's kind of stepped up and helped a lot with creating content for the different projects that my crazy brain comes up with, and it makes a big difference to not be the only one thinking about this stuff. Like she messaged you about, hey, can I get a picture to get your promo stuff together? And it's like, I'm one that I'm waiting until like the day before it needs to release to get that stuff figured out, because I am pulled in so many different directions. Yeah, super important.
You're like the hamster running in the wheel, and I'm like the one just like sitting off to the side, like.
Okay, let me see what I can do here.
Right. Just go, go, go.
Gotta go fast. Sonic.
Like, when do you sleep?
When I can. The other thing I wanted to hit on, and I don't know if you have a brand for it or if this was under your personal page, but I know there was a while that you were doing like lashes and cosmetics. What can you talk about that? What is that?
Oh, okay, yeah. So a few years ago, Makeup Beauty Boutique came about.
What is it?
Makeup Beauty Boutique, or
Okay.
LLC, actually. It's actually an LLC. And it grew from me having a love for makeup. I don't have my stuff on today, but it's okay. I love lashes, and Makeup Beauty Boutique came out of that. It birthed out of my desire and love for makeup, and I want to start my own makeup brand. So for a little while, I want to say maybe for about a year and a half, I tried the lashes, selling the lashes, and it went really well. I got a few customers from that, and then I branched out into lip gloss. I was making lip gloss at first, and then I branch out into the lip gloss thing for a little while.
Was it popping?
It was popping. No, it was popping.
Was your lip
Lip gloss
gloss
was popping.
Nice.
It
Thank
was
you.
popping. Yeah, yeah. And then I got into some more colored lip glosses and kind of had to give it a break for a little while because, busy mom, but I'm in the process of rebranding right now.
Okay.
Studying my market again. Gotta like bring it down like I'm studying my market and rebranding right now. So I'll eventually get back on the Facebook and the Instagram again, but I'm just rebranding, studying my market and see what's trending out there so I can be able to move forward and bring this out into a brand that I can start and all the ladies will love to buy.
Nice.
So working on it.
What kind of products go into making lip gloss? I'm just curious.
It's like you have to get your base, like a lip gloss base, and then you have your oils, like certain oils that you have to flavor it with and stuff to give it like flavor. Then you add your, I want to say it's mica or some kind of powder, like a powder to give it the color and things like that. And then you mix it, and then you pour it in your tubes, your little squeeze tubes, and then there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really fun making it. Yeah.
I have to say, I used to watch like your eyelash videos
Oh.
because I thought I was gonna rock it, right?
Uh-oh.
First of all, I don't know how people wear lash. I felt like I kept seeing like
The lash.
the lash.
Yeah.
So I tried it on myself because my daughter did show choir and they have to wear lashes for all their competitions. So I was like, let me just see how it works before I, By the end of the season, I had nailed it, like doing the adhesive liner and the eyelash, but
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's an art.
Yes.
It's a whole art. So,
Yes. Yeah.
but I did watch your videos
Oh,
to
well, that's great.
like help myself
Oh,
because
that's good.
you would think it just seems as glue as put some glue on, put it on. It's really not.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Yeah. It
Interesting.
takes a lot of
And then you got
skill.
those magnetic ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yes.
Did she
Yeah.
not like them?
You got them like at the end of the season, so we didn't try them. But those were the ones
okay.
I tried that time, where you put it was like a magnetic liner, which I was also like, is that safe? It's like a liner you put on,
Yeah.
and then
It sticks to the
yeah,
adhesive, the magnet in there. Yeah, I used to sell those. I forgot to say that too. I used to sell the lash glue pens. Like it's an eyeliner and adhesive. So I used to sell those. Oh my gosh, those.
That's
sold
what it
really
was.
good.
Yeah.
It was like in these nice little pens that had like rhinestones on them, and my customers love those. So right now I'm rebranding, but I'm gonna probably bring that back. Because a lot of ladies like it's a liner, it goes as a liner, and you can also use it as an adhesive. You just put your lash on there, and boom, that's it. It sticks all day. So rebranding, I'm gonna bring it back.
You're like,
girl
cool.
stuff. Yeah.
Listen, not everybody has those big,
Yeah.
beautiful lashes naturally. Okay.
Yeah. It's funny because I was gonna make a sports reference earlier, and I was like, they probably neither one of them would get it, so let me not. And then you guys are talking about makeup, and I was like,
Well, just know people pay to have nice full lashes and full eyebrows. Not everyone is blessed,
Yeah.
with hair in all the right places.
Yeah. That's true.
yeah, and no hair in some places.
Again, women would also appreciate not growing hair on their legs. So you are blessed beyond all measure.
When I was in college, they commented on my hairless legs and said that I shave my legs, which I
No,
don't.
they're natural like
It's just
usually like
naturally, I
that.
just don't grow much hair on my legs.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's because you're saving it all for your lion's mane.
There you go. Yeah.
That's funny.
Channeling all that energy upwards.
It's going up here.
Yeah.
All right, so we have about 5 minutes left, and we're done talking about your physical beauty, and we're gonna move on to kind of like what we like to talk towards the end of our episode, and that is just what's happening right now. What is propelling you forward? What is feeding you? What are you learning?
Okay. Wow. Great question. Okay. Well, right now, since my since he has became pastor, I kind of like transitioned into just helping him, being a stay-at-home mom right now because I was working a 9 to 5. That was a little hard to balance, to be honest with you.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So right now I'm just helping him. We're wherever he needs the help. And then also I'm just being a stay-at-home mom and just working on rebranding my makeup business, seasoning manager, just working on the social media platform altogether, just testing things right now in this season, testing just different things, and just kind of just enjoy being a mom and the first lady right now. So that's the only thing I can say right now. Just helping him where is needed, helping with flyers, bulletins. We're about to have a church anniversary, so I'm like the chairperson for
nice.
that. So right now I'm working on that too. Ooh, it's a lot to work on, but just helping him. That's just the main thing, just being his backbone right now. So that's where I'm at.
Can you plug the church?
Oh, yeah. Church is St. Matthew Missionary Baptist Church. You can visit us on Sunday at 11 a.m. We are at 1001 North 30th Street. So if you have time on Sundays, please come out to visit us. We would love to have you there as our guest.
So something that you like, generally what you've been talking about is like all the things you do and how busy you are. So something I want to talk more about too this season, because we're talking about everything that we're doing.
Yes.
What do you do to recharge? What do you do to reset yourself?
Oh, I love that
Because
question.
this is something I'm working on myself. Like, how do I refill my bucket when you
Yeah.
pour out to so many people? So what are you doing to fill your bucket?
I usually take time a day for myself. I let T know in advance, like, hey, this Saturday is going to be my day, like a self-care day. Go get my nails done, feet done, shopping. It's just kind of, if if I need to relax, I'll let Terrence know. He'll take the kids for me. And I'll rest for a couple hours, just chill, relax, probably listen to some cafe jazz. I like cafe jazz. I like a little bit of smooth jazz too. I'm gonna admit I like Anita Baker. I listen to her in Sade. It's way back. I'm sorry, but anyways, those artists help me to kind of like relax on days like that. So just doing a self-care day, probably like once or twice a month, helps me to refuel and recharge.
You ever been to the Jewel?
I have not.
All right. I think we should plan a adult outing. Go
Okay.
check out the Jewel. It's a jazz bar downtown.
Okay.
Did you just say an
Nice.
adult outing?
No kids. Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I like jazz. I enjoy jazz. I play it around the house, like when I'm cleaning at times. It helps me to stay on task and get things done. I mean, outside of the gospel music, of course, that's one of the major genres I listen to, but jazz too. It's really nice.
All right. You just sparked a question for me. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the clock, see if we got time to
Okay.
get into this. You talk a lot about music. Music's a big part of our
Yes.
life,
Right.
our lives.
Yeah.
Can you just kind of talk about the role that music plays in your life? Obviously, your husband is a musician.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We love listening to music in our household. Of course, T. Had to catch myself. He's gonna get me, but it's okay. So there's a lot of music that plays throughout our house. Of course, T, he plays his music, which I enjoy too, because a lot of people are like, do you even enjoy his music at all, or Christian hip hop genre? I said, I do. I listen to his music too. There's a balance in there, and then of course we both play a lot of old school gospel music in the house. It's like a mixture of things. I was just telling you, like I like to listen to jazz and a little bit of smooth jazz, I guess, here and there. But we just kind of play a lot of different like music in the house. The girls enjoy it. We love listening to T's music. The girls are going around dancing, and now especially Yaya. Oh my gosh, it's funny watching her dance. But yeah, it's just music is a big part of our lives at home because it helps us to kind of just wind down. Like if we're having like a day, like oh my gosh, there's so much going on, we just throw some music on, and it just kind of takes us into a different like mood. It uplifts us, So that's why I play a lot of old school gospels anyway, because throughout the week there's a lot that goes on, y'all. Like a whole lot of things that go on. Your mood just kind of goes down, and then some of those songs uplift me. I can play one of T's songs, and it uplifts me. So music just all around. It helps us. I'm around the house, and it's fun to see the girls also dance to the music because it makes me laugh.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right. We're getting to that time. It's time to wrap up. Before we go, do you mind plugging your contact again? how do you want people to reach out to you?
Sure. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Dominique Barlow. It's Dominique, Barlow, Barlow, without the E at the end, because everybody thinks that I'm related to the Barlows with the E at the end. It's without the E. You can reach out to me also on Season of Marriages platform. Instagram is at season_of_marriages. You can reach out to me on there as well. You can DM me. And that's basically it. Those are the only two platforms that I'm mainly on right now. So if you need to email me, it's Mrs. MRSD Barlow273@gmail.com.
Love it.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's been another awesome episode of Our Humble Podcast. If you're not yet, make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram. We also have Gmail, ourhumblepodcast@gmail.com, if you want to reach out and request any questions or anything like that. But we'll be back next week with another awesome interview. Thank you guys for tuning in.